Before we talk business, I want to take a moment and make some personal remarks because this is real personal to me. This is a bittersweet day. And the reason I say bittersweet is that the sweet part is I came here and yesterday we had a hell of a game. And the thing about it is Coach Orgeron has beat the Gators 3 times in a row, and that's all 3 years I've been here, Ed, and that's something I'm proud of. But I want you guys to know Ed Orgeron's a friend. We're both Louisiana guys through and through. We both deeply care about this football program, and I will always be grateful for Coach Orgeron for leading the Tigers to the greatest season in the history of college football. With that said, the job requires us to set personal feelings aside and make decisions that are ultimately best for LSU. Since my first day back at LSU in 2019, Coach O and I have maintained an open and consistent dialogue about the state of LSU football. At LSU, we expect to compete for SEC and national championships year in and year out. We are proud of that standard, and we'll always work to uphold it. Our last 2 seasons have simply not met that standard. When we evaluated our on-field results and the future of our program with President Tate, we determined that it is time for us to move in a new direction. That was LSU's decision, but it is one Coach O understands. It's clear in our conversations he wants what's best for LSU above all else. We've asked him, and he has agreed, to remain as head coach through the end of the 2021 season. We believe that gives our student athletes the best chance for success this season. We believe it will help us in our recruiting efforts as well, and I know Coach O will continue to give everything he has because that's who he is, and that's what he's always done for our state and for our university. His passion and pride for our football team and for our state are unrivaled and undeniable. The search for LSU's next championship football coach begins today. And while there will be plenty of time to discuss that in the days and weeks ahead, I believe today is about Coach O and what he has meant to this program. So in that vein, in that spirit, I will now give him the opportunity to say a few words.
Thanks, Scott. First of all, I want to say that Scott's been up and up with me ever since he got here. We both from Louisiana. I knew the expectation of LSU when I took the job. I told you that. I understand the expectation. I invite them. And, man, 2019, what a magical run. But you know why? Because of the players. We had great players, and we had great coaches here. And the players make this program, and you're able to recruit great players here at LSU. But I knew we had to sustain that momentum, and we had to sustain that standard. And I know that the last 2 years hasn't been the standard of LSU. So when he came and talked to me after the Kentucky game, I knew that it was time. And I understand that. I understand the expectations of LSU. And I invited myself, and we did not meet him the last 2 years. I'm honored that I got to be the head coach at LSU. This administration has treated me with class, with dignity the whole time that I've been here. They've given me everything that we needed to have success. I met with the players today. It's the first time that I get to talk to the players before I wanted to talk to you. But I am happy that I can be the coach of the LSU Tigers towards the end of the season. And I promise you this, we're not going to blink. I'm glad we beat Florida. Tomorrow's going to be Tell the Truth Monday. And we're going to be on to Ole Miss. And I'm going to take it one day at a time. But I'm always going to appreciate my time here. I have no regrets. Not one day. I was not going to have a bad day. I'm not going to blink. I'll tell you guys that. You know, the circumstances that we haven't won enough games in the last 2 years, I totally get it.
Yeah, and let's be brief because you'll get a kick out of this, and the fun part. Coach O has not let go of the remote watching film today on Ole Miss, and he's got to get his butt back there and continue to do that. So with that, we'll be happy to answer any questions. Michael?
Ed, just what did the players say, reaction, and how do you want it to go going forward with them and their focus?
Nothing's going to change. I mean, we're going to focus on beating Ole Miss. We're going to take the same attitude that we had going into the Florida week. The players, I just told them how it was. Nobody said nothing. Nobody talked. It was about 5 minutes. I told them exactly what I told y'all. I understood the expectations of LSU, and I knew after the Kentucky game that we were heading down a road that wasn't positive for LSU, and that there was going to be a change made, and I just felt that.
Right here, Ron. Yeah, Ed, when you left Ole Miss, you evaluated yourself and realized the mistakes you made. How do you evaluate yourself here? What do you think, I guess the last 2 years went wrong for you?
You know, I'm not the one to evaluate myself. I'll let y'all do that. Y'all do it enough. I could care less about it.
You've often talked about this. I know at Ole Miss did want to micromanage coaches. Do you think at times here that you were a bit too much CEO and maybe not enough hands-on?
No, not at all. I don't regret a minute. I think we did it the right way. No excuses. I think we did it the right way. And, you know, hey, when you win, you're doing everything perfect. When you lose, you're not. That's just the way it is.
Coach, someone who watched the game yesterday said it seemed like a weight was lifted off of you coaching that game yesterday. Do you think this will be, you'll have some fun with it maybe? Is there any weight lifted off you now that this is kind of cleared up? Or?
Yeah, the weight was lifted off of me because I felt like we were going to win. I mean, that was yesterday. I didn't know everything's going to be finalized, but now, that doesn't matter. That's not the way I'm going to coach. That's not the way I'm going to be. I'm going to be the same guy I was today. I'm going to be the same guy tomorrow with this football team till my last day here at LSU.
Ed, where do you think it went wrong? Do you feel like it was a lack of focus? Was it just the perfect storm to get to the top and things kind of conspired against you to get to where we are now?
I've been really concerned with the day-to-day process of what's been going on. And, I've never looked at it like that, what went wrong and nothing like that. I don't have the answer. If I have the answer what went wrong, I'd have fixed it.
Hey, Coach. Just with recruiting, and I know that's one thing you've been huge on in the transfer portal. How the next month and a half? How do you handle that? Talking to parents, talking to kids in the team.
I'm going to tell them to come to LSU. I'm going to still recruiting players. Tell them to come to LSU. This is a great place. I recruited them to come to LSU. Why would I tell them any different now? So I'll tell them to come to LSU. This is a great place. They can hire a great coach. You can have great success here at LSU. My message to the recruits will not change. I met with two today.
Ed, do you plan on coaching next year?
No. What's that? I want to take a little time off. I'm 60 years old. I've coached for 37 years. I think I'm going to have enough money to buy me a hamburger, and every once in a while, maybe a double meat cheeseburger for Sonic. But I want to take a little time off to find out what direction I want to be in. You asked me if I think today I'm not going to coach. That might be different a month from now, but right now I want to take a little time off, spend with my kids.
Hey, Ed, how does it feel to go from a high to a low like this? Just 2 years ago, you national champions, and now this is the end result.
You know what? That's not the way I live my life. That's the wrong way to live. I live my life one day at a time, take things on as they come. I've never changed my attitude towards LSU. I've never changed my attitude towards life. All those external things don't affect the way I live. I won't let it.
Coach, you said after the Kentucky game things weren't going down the right road, but, it looked like they were going down the right road yesterday. So,
Well, I just felt after the Kentucky game, them rushing 330 yards rushing on us, it just wasn't LSU style of football, and I knew it went pretty. I was embarrassed.
Oh, is right here. I'm sorry, up here, Coach O. Garland. Your love for LSU, is that the reason why you're finishing out this season? Most times when coaches are told they're not coming back next year, they just want to call it a day and move on there. Yeah. What is the motive to stay here the entire season when you know you're no longer going to be here?
I've been telling them, kids, we're going to finish. We're not going to blink. I'm going to be right there with them. That's the reason. And Scott and I mutually agreed. But I'm going to finish with this team. I love this team. I love being with these guys. I love LSU. And the day I leave here, I'm going to do everything I can every day.
Ed, right here. Thank you. All the players that you're without now, this season that have gone on through this year with all the injuries, and you have a player who's academically ineligible. Did you ever want to say, hey, look, if it weren't for these things, I'd be winning? Did you ever want to? Look for an excuse?
Never. We'd be far without them. We did the same thing last year, so hey. I wouldn't change a thing, not a thing.
This week you told us that the Gator Chomp was one of your favorite memories. I'm sure you got a lot of favorite memories
Yeah.
of your time here at LSU, but you got any that come to mind other than that?
Definitely the championship year. There's a lot of great memories during that championship year. A lot of great memories. I can't single out one. There's a lot of great memories.
Coach, you mentioned that you're still meeting with recruits. You met with 2 today. What exactly are you telling to the recruits if they know you're not going to be here next year?
They tell me that what is tell them that I love LSU, and I was telling them the right thing before I'm not going to be here, and I still have the same feelings about it.
Coach, do you feel there's some greatness in this team left as you make your
I know
last
there's
run?
a lot of fight in this team. I love the way we ran the ball yesterday. I love the way we stopped the run. I think Glenn Logan really helped us coming back. See Ty Davis-Price and see the offensive line gelling like we did and us sticking to the run, be recommitted to the run. But we're going to take it one day at a time. Hey, tomorrow is Tell the Truth Monday. We're going to get on to Ole Miss, and it's a big job ahead. But, we have a tough schedule ahead. We'll take it one day at a time. I'm glad we got this out the way tomorrow so we can focus on Ole Miss.
And if you reach a bowl game, do you think you'll coach in the bowl as well?
Yes.
Ed, whether it was fair or not, okay, a lot of people are making a big deal out of what happened last year with the African-American players on the team. Can you clear that up as to exactly what's your take on what happened with that situation?
That was the thing that was – go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I can clear it up. It had nothing to do with this decision. And Coach can talk about his personal feelings, but it was wins and losses on the field and where this program was going.
That was something that was going on across the country. I mean, it wasn't just here. So, but I think we dealt with it. I think we've made positive progress towards the things that were wrong, and I know LSU's heading in the right direction. I don't feel that at all on this year's team, not at all.
Hey, Coach O, who have you talked to in your family? How did those conversations go with that? You told them that you're no longer be the coach at LSU.
Yeah, good. I talked to my sons. Obviously, we discussed it, and they're fine with it. There's closure. They all 3 of them want to coach. I'm about to help them coaching. I talked to Coco. I ain't gonna tell you what Coco said. She wanted to make sure I got my money.
We've seen this with Coach Maneri this year, but he said he was going to stay in Baton Rouge. Have you thought about that, or is that too far down the road?
There's some things I want to do. Then there's some places I want to go and some things that I want to be part of, but I'm not really sure yet.
You better come hang out down the bayou with me, though.
That's right.
And I think, excuse me, I think it was in this room 5 years ago that you brought out the rope and you wanted to change, the program as you came on as the interim. I guess 5 years later from now, as you sit here today, just sort of what's going through your mind on your tenure? I know you said you don't have any regrets, you would have done things differently, but just sort of what's going through your mind when you think over the last 5 years now?
Well, it's a great run, if you ask me. It's a great run, to go 15-0 and have one of the best football teams ever to play. Not every person gets a chance to say that. And let me say it was because of the players and because of the assistant coaches we had. But, the last couple of years are not the standard of LSU, but I have no regrets. I know I went to work as hard as I could every day, tried as hard as I could every day, and that's all you can ask.
Hey, Scott Garland here. Getting this out of the way now, does this give you a leg up? How does this give you a leg up in getting your coaching search? You said it started today. Have you already started reaching out? How has the process begun for you?
Garland, there'll be a time and a place for that, and today's about Coach O and this team, and we'll talk about that later. We have plenty of time to do that. Thanks,
Coach, if you could give one piece of advice to the next coach that you learned over the last couple of years, what would it be?
Not my job. Not my job to do that.
Scott, you just said it's about Coach O. Just if you would elaborate more on there is such a tie with this state to that man, and likewise, I guess it's going to be difficult. It's going to be odd, right? But just what he's meant to the program and the athletics.
Yeah, like I told you personally, it's gonna be difficult and different for me because, every day I'd see Parker and I'd see Tyler, and when Cody came to town, I saw him, and I'd see O every day. I tried to make this program as good as I could, and I was part of this with O. Here I am. I'm LSU, and that's who I am, and O was part of that, and we tried to get better every single day and tried hard every single day, but. It's going to be something that I really miss because Ed's a friend, and he's Louisianian through and through, and we have a lot in common, and we know these things. And I can't say that about everyone I've been in business with. And this guy accepted me from day one and accepted me as a partner, and I asked him if he would, and that's how I approached it, and we did. And he let me be a part as little as I did in that 19-year, be a something that was really, truly special. And I'll forever have that with O, and we'll have that bond. And the hard times, because he didn't make excuses, and as he says, it's not a cliche. You guys think it's coach speak. He doesn't blink. And that's who he does. That's who he is. He's positive. He's looking at things the right way. And like a true Louisianian, he loves those boys more than anything in the world. And, man, when you do that, you go a long way with Scott Woodward.
Thank you. Appreciate it.